Welcome to preparing for an administrative review for school nutrition programs. The administrative review is a process of collecting information, reviewing documentation, and observing operations to evaluate program integrity, including compliance with federal law and regulations in the operation of the National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs, after-school snack program, fresh fruit and vegetable program, and/or seamless summer option. This training series is designed to help you understand the administrative review process, what to expect, how to prepare, and the steps you can take for a successful review. Before we get started, let's go over some terms we'll use throughout these presentations. Sponsor, that's you, is the word we will use for any organization that is operating or sponsoring a federal nutrition program. This could be a public school district, a private school, a charter school, or a residential child care institution. You are all sponsors. Then there's ODE-CMP, that's us, the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs. Then there's the reviewer. Each sponsor has been assigned a review team from ODE-CMP. When we say reviewer, this could be the reviewing specialist or lead reviewer, the program analyst or secondary reviewer, the financial specialist, or any person from ODE-CMP collecting information for the review. The administrative review process has been organized into 5 monitoring sections. 1. Access and reimbursement. Number 2. Nutritional quality/meal pattern. Number 3. Resource management. Number 4. General program compliance. Number 5. Other federal programs. Within each monitoring section, there are several modules, each covering a specific review area. For each module, there are both off-site and on-site activities that occur before, during, and after the reviewer is on site. This process allows for the most efficient collection, submittal, and analysis of data and information for a given review area. The administrative review training is presented in 3 parts. During Part 1, we will discuss a general overview of the administrative review process, then go more in depth about the access and reimbursement section. The administrative review uses a multi-step process to determine the sponsor's level of compliance with federal and state regulations. The review begins with an off-site assessment tool, a series of questions emailed to each sponsor scheduled for review. The off-site assessment tool provides specialists with baseline information about each sponsor's current practices. Additional information is collected to help the reviewer understand and assess current practices. The information will be validated on-site based on staff interviews, documentation, and observations. This graphic shows how the administrative review tasks will progress. We are currently at number 3B. Sponsors scheduled for an administrative review in the current school year receive notification at the end of August along with their off-site assessment tool and administrative review master checklist. At this point, the off-site assessment should be completed and returned to ODE-CMP. Details of the on-site review have been sent to sponsors in their confirmation letter. The sponsor receives notification of the on-site review dates and sites to be reviewed, along with the month of review and menu week of review. Until this point in the review process, all sponsors have been on the same timeline. All notifications of review, off-site assessment tools, on-site review planning, and confirmation letters go out at the same time. After this point, though, each sponsor will have a timeline that is based on their specific on-site review date. About 6 weeks before the on-site visit, an additional documents request will be sent to the sponsor. Requested documents are in the meal pattern, benefits issuance, and general areas. These documents are evaluated before the next step, which is the on-site visit. On the first day of the on-site visit, the reviewer or reviewers will arrive and conduct an entrance conference. During this time, we will discuss the on-site review activities, logistics, and answer questions that the sponsor may have about the process. After all on-site activities are concluded, an exit conference will be held. During the exit conference, the reviewer will summarize the review. This is a time to give commendations, recommendations, and discuss any findings and set a corrective action plan and timeline, and any potential fiscal action and appeal process. The document of administrative review findings report may be left on site following the exit conference or sent to the sponsor within 10 business days of the exit conference. When the DAF is discussed, it is also signed by both the reviewer and a sponsor representative. Corrective action is completed by the sponsor and submitted within 15 business days following the instructions on the DAF. The corrective action is evaluated by the reviewer. If needed, further collaboration between the sponsor and reviewer will happen until the corrective action is approved. In some cases, the administrative review is closed at this point. However, some findings or repeat findings will cause fiscal action to be calculated. Calculating the fiscal action does not necessarily mean taking money back. Each case is different. If fiscal action does need to be taken, a fiscal action notification letter with the appeal process will be sent. In those situations, once the appeal period has ended, the fiscal action has been completed. The administrative review is closed. To ensure that sponsors have a better understanding of documents required and procedures reviewed, the administrative review checklist was sent with the off-site assessment tool and notification of administrative review letter. The checklist is a tool that sponsors may use to assist them in preparing for the administrative review. You will find a link to the checklist on the ODE Administrative Review page. The checklist details areas that will be reviewed and lists documents that sponsors may need to provide to the specialist either off-site, prior to the day of the review, or during the on-site portion of the review. The self-assessment section contains optional self-checks that the sponsor may complete to assess compliance at their sites. These coincide with reviewer activities while on site as part of the review process. For example, the reviewer will observe breakfast and lunch meals and will specifically focus on how the point of service or meal counting and claiming procedures take place at the site being reviewed. With that background, let's get started. As mentioned, the administrative review process has 5 monitoring sections. We'll begin by focusing on the access and reimbursement section of the review structure. The purpose of this section of the review is to ensure that only eligible students are accounted for reimbursable meals served, are counted by eligibility category, free, reduced price, and paid, are counted during each meal or snack service, are limited to 1 of each meal or snack per student per day, and are counted without overtly identifying a student's eligibility. For the purposes of the administrative review, access means the determination of student benefits from receiving documentation, issuing benefits, notifying households, and using the information at the point of service. This is called the certification process. Reimbursement means counting and claiming meals by free, reduced price, or paid categories. Access, or the certification process, includes benefit issuance, which starts with the determined eligibility. Eligibility determination may occur through direct certification, other categorical eligibility, or income application. Review of the certification process is meant to ensure that the sponsor's system for issuing benefits is timely, up-to-date, accurate, and that students are in the correct benefit category, free, reduced price, or paid, at the point of service. Verification is reviewed due to its role in ensuring that benefits are issued to eligible students. Meal counting and claiming is reviewed to ensure that only one type of meal, breakfast, lunch, and/or snack, per student per day is counted, and to ensure claims for reimbursement are valid. The off-site assessment tool for access and reimbursement evaluates the sponsor's processes for reviewing eligibility determinations, certifications, verification, and updating application. Answers provided on the tool may make the reviewer aware of potential areas of noncompliance. These areas will be more closely reviewed and potentially corrected with technical assistance or corrective action. During the on-site visit, reviewers will verify that the sponsor system is working to provide an accurate certification process resulting in correct benefits issuance, an accurate counting and claiming system, and an accurate verification process. Eligibility determinations are made from household applications for income, household applications for categorically eligible students, which includes SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programs, TANF, which is the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, and FDPR, which is the Food Distribution Program for Indian Reservations, Direct Certification and Extended DC Benefits, Foster Child or Children Documentation, list newly available on DC lists, or applications, homeless or runaway lists, migrant lists, and even and Head Start lists. The complete list of eligible students is called the Benefit Issuance Roster. And foster children can be sorted by sorting match source code column. The Benefits Issuance Roster is the link between the sponsor's certification process, when free or reduced price benefits are determined, and the sponsor's meal counting and claiming system. When a student's benefits are used at the POS to count and claim meals, the system must be accurate. As mentioned, sponsors will send their benefit issuance roster to ODE prior to the on-site portion of the review. The benefit issuance roster sent must be an Excel list for all of the sponsor's standard counting and claiming sites, not just the review sites. The requirements for the Excel spreadsheets are that it only includes free and reduced price eligible students, no paid or denied students, and no duplicates. Here is an example of a benefits issuance roster, and the individual student information must contain the student's name, the district student ID number. The preference is to use Secure Student Identification Number, or SSID, the school name, benefit status, whether they're free or reduced, method of certification, which is the application, direct certification, homeless, migrant, foster, and the date of eligibility determination or approval. If possible, an indication of students who were selected for verification. Sponsors must send the benefits issuance roster via secure file transfer to ode.schoolnutrition@state.or.us. The benefit issuance roster is confidential and cannot be faxed or emailed. Instructions for using secure file transfer are on the Administrative Review webpage. After the benefits issuance roster is submitted, our staff will perform a statistically valid sampling process to select a sample of student certifications for review. A list of the students needing confirmation or eligibility on site will be sent to you in advance using secure file transfer. Sponsors will need to prepare the appropriate documentation for the on-site review by locating and organizing the applications, direct certifications, and other supporting documentation for the free or reduced eligibility of students selected for review. The documentation must be prepared and available for the specialists to review at the beginning of the first day of the on-site review. As a reminder, do not fax or email this confidential information. During the on-site visit, all verification documentation must be available. Assigned specialists will validate current verification summary report and information provided in off-site assessment tool. Confirm the verification process by evaluating verified applications, and the reviewer may use prior year's verification documents depending on the time of the year of the on-site visit. The purpose of reviewing meal counting and claiming is to ensure that the sponsor's process is accurate and that the meals meet all federal requirements. Reviewers will validate claims for breakfast, lunch, and after-school snack programs if the sponsor is participating. Assure that only one of each meal type, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or snack, is claimed per student per day. Test the sponsor's system to see if it provides accurate meal counts by category, free, reduced, and paid, yielding accurate reimbursement claims. Compare sponsor's CMP web claim for the review month to counts validated during the review, and review claim consolidation methods at the sponsor level. During the on-site review, your reviewer will confirm that the information provided on the off-site assessment tool is correct and accurately reflects current practice, observe meal services, determine if overt identification exists, and determine if the point of service counts are accurate. ODE CMP staff may ask POS cashiers if the sponsor's charge policy is being followed, how students without proper ID are handled, and whether there are excessive amounts of meal overrides. Reviewers will also evaluate claim consolidation methods at the site level. Meal counting and claiming errors that require fiscal action include ineffective or unapproved point of service, meal count consolidation that are typically clerical errors, meal counts that do not equal the number served, meal counts that exceed the number of eligible, free, reduced, or paid students, second or ineligible meals, adult or a la carte, were counted incorrectly for reimbursement. As a reminder, program documentation must be kept for 3 years plus the current operating year. Some common access and reimbursement administrative review findings for benefits issuance roster are: the sponsor's initial eligibility determination was incorrect, invalid or missing SNAP or TANF case numbers, and for meal counting and claiming are clerical errors and claims that differ from those submitted in CMP Web. Common findings for verification are sponsors not conducting verification at all, using the wrong verification method, especially when standard is required, or sponsors completing the verification process incorrectly and/or inadequately. We are here to help support you and your work of providing nutritious meals to the students you serve. Please don't hesitate to ask questions at any time. The Sponsor Specialist List, which lists the specific ODE CMP staff assigned to each sponsor, is posted on our public webpage, or you can find your assigned specialist in CMP Web under your Sponsor Summary heading. This slide has information for you to help in preparing for the administrative review. The first, the ode.schoolnutrition email box. Remember, this is where all review documentation is to be sent. Second is where administrative review resources, including zipping a folder and secure file instructions, are. And third is where the school nutrition program information is. ODE CMP has other nutrition programs too. So who do you contact if you have questions? The Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Program has 3 areas: the community programs, which is CACFP and at risk, USDA foods, which is commodities, and school nutrition. This slide shows the entire non-discrimination statement. Thank you for participating in preparing for an administrative review, Part 1. If you have any questions, please contact your assigned child nutrition specialist. We greatly appreciate all the work you do to fuel Oregon's future. Thank you.